Hi, everyone. I just wanted to jump on and do a little bit of a quick read. So, just based on some of the readings that I've had coming up over the last couple of weeks, and just looking at some of the astrology and things for the moment, I thought it might be time just to jump on here and go live and literally be in the energy of the now. So, if you're catching this after, you're still included in this. I'm tuning in for our gorgeous soul tribe, and I'll pull a couple of cards. And yeah, this was not planned. So you've not missed a notification. I'm just choosing to be in the moment. So I was on Lily Nova's Patreon channel today and speaking with her gorgeous soul tribe as well. So it's just been a lovely day of being immersed in the energies of beautiful soul tribes. And I just really felt like I wanted to bring an offering. Hello to those that are just joining. If you can maybe just drop a little emoji in the chat and let me know who you are or where you are in the world, that'd be beautiful. So yeah, what I'm seeing come up at the moment, because I'm doing, hey Jennifer, lovely to see you here, beautiful. So I'm doing the in-store readings as well as online. And what I'm sort of seeing come up at the moment is a lot of crossroad energy, a lot of indecision, a lot of Mercury retrograde, bringing things up from the past, revisiting, asking, are you sure that we don't want to, revisit? Are you sure you don't want to go back to this? So what I'm seeing happen on a bigger spiritual level, so nice to have you here from Australia too, is what we're seeing is growth and expansion. But a lot of us are stepping into fear and we're getting pulled into past. So past patterns, past version of self. Now, this is where our amygdala, our brain, will try and keep us in past, which is safe because even if it's not so good, it's predictable. So what we want to do is start to become familiar with the uncomfortable, familiar with change, with growth. But in order to do that, we have to kind of push ourselves in a way. Now, not all change will be a push from the 3D physical. So don't think that you have to go and light a match and burn your life down or, quit everything, relationship, job, living in a house and go on backpack somewhere. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have to take conscious steps. And I don't know if you guys just saw something fly. I saw a little orb as I was turning this on to go live as well. So also, thank you, Jazz, for joining us as well. So lovely to have you here with us, Jasmine. So yeah, what I'm saying is we need to start to consciously create new mindset. And I want you to think about your value and your worth around who it is that you're becoming, what it is that you're wanting to attract, and start to get familiar, start to get comfortable with that version of self. We're in a period of stretching, growing. We're also in a period of dipping our toe in the water, checking the flow, checking the current. And I've titled this Current Flow of Energies because one of the visions that I had today in the reading for the collective, when I was working with Lily Nova's group, we did some light language. And what I saw was a vision of like multiple streams and vibrations. So I saw us in the earth realm and vibration. I saw our ancestors, and I also saw our guides and beings that love and support us unconditionally. And what I saw with that is they're all cheering us on to get through this next hurdle in terms of, I guess we could call it the ascension timeline, or moving into this next vibrational shift. And we see a lot of astrologers saying that April's going to be big. We've got also the 4 eclipses this year. The big powerhouse one will be in August. And then we'll move into, I think it's even Jupiter in Leo. It's going to be amazing for Leos. It's going to be a huge shift and change, depending on where you've got Uranus placement, especially for Gemini risings, which I am both those things, a Leo and a Gemini rising. So huge times of shifts and change. So if we can think about ourselves being like the buoy in the ocean, meaning like the thing that bobs up and down that you see in the deep sea. And it doesn't seem to matter whether it's a rocky storm, whether it's rain, hail, or shine, that buoy keeps floating and bouncing and moving with the emotion, with the tide. So if we think about what can we do to steady ourselves in this period of sort of stormy weather, and the Mercury retrograde coming in, getting us to reflect, to revisit things, to look at the patterns, and to highlight where our emotions are maybe feeling tumultuous, or highlighting and spotlighting where we feel frustration. If we can look in that as a reflection, so say, for example, there's a feeling or a negative emotion or a pattern that you're sensing, and it may even be stuff from childhood too. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, if you can just acknowledge it and say, that's a really interesting reflection. So have a look at what you want to experience on the other side of that, and then start projecting that out. You can even visualize or see yourself looking in the mirror and seeing a friend in the reflection of the mirror next to you and telling them all about everything that's changed. And it might be that you're projecting it into the now, that you're reliving and you're telling that story emotionally from the place of the heart, because as we know, the heart is 5,000 times stronger than the electrical impulses that come from the brain. So that is one key towards shifting our reality, is we want to get in touch with that emotional state of what it is that we would like to create. And we want to cancel and delete the old pattern, the old subconscious story. Because don't forget, 95% of what we see in this physical reality is run from the subconscious. So we need to hit that giant red override button, or say cancel and delete, when we catch ourselves in momentarily negative states of mind, negative patterns, or negative thought loops or states of consciousness. And one thing that I find really powerful is if you're in this state of where you're dwelling on things, or you're finding that negative emotions are just coming up. Thank you also if you're just joining us now. I appreciate your comments as well, guys. And hello, if you're just joining us. So one thing that you can do to break those negative loops, because that's what we've got to do. We've got to have the conscious awareness to recognize that we're in a loop. And so even just hitting override, visualizing a big red button, or saying stop to that thought loop is enough to kind of jam the signals. So if we're looking at your brain and we're looking at the neural networks all kind of fired and wired and fused together, say, this interlocking is the old patterns and thoughts. When we say stop, we're putting like a crowbar jamming the signal. And then what you can do is go, all right, well, tell me what thought is next. What am I thinking next? And what that does, it jams the signal. So science is now being able to prove that we don't necessarily generate our thoughts. They're saying that thoughts are kind of like a currency, and we are like little antennas and they come to us. So this is why it's really important to be in control of your frequency, to surround yourself with higher frequency. Hey, Mel. And to be working on emotions that hold a higher frequency, higher vibrations. We have talked about them on the other show, of like love and gratitude and this energy of thank you being some of the highest frequencies, authenticity being at the top of that, even higher than love. So we need to jam that loop, either, saying override or saying stop, and go, right, what thought is next? Tell me what I'm thinking next. And you'll find that there's an empty gap. There's empty space. And that's when we slip in to reprogram the subconscious mind. So just like a little tool for you guys to recognize, jam the signal, then insert the feeling and emotion that you would rather feel instead. Now, if you're still feeling anxious, or you're still feeling this energy of your nervous system kind of still wiring and firing in the old negative, this is where doing tapping. So EFT tapping on these acupuncture points, and I'm not doing it in the right order. I've done other videos on that. And I've also included it in my How to See Auras course. What that does it calms the nervous system. So even one tip is one hand on the back of the head. I just feel my little cat outside. And one hand on the front will actually bring blood back to the brain. Because when we're in fight or flight, or we're caught in negative thought loops, we aren't consciously thinking. We're just caught in the drift of a pattern. So we need to redirect the little ship. So yeah, EFT tapping. The other thing that also helps when you've been able to either do your breath work or your EFT tapping to calm and regulate the nervous system, that's when I stack it with my hypnotic subliminals. And this is where I'm seeing a good amount of you that follow, and friends of mine, clients of mine, giving me beautiful, amazing stories on my hypnotic subliminals. that are available in the link below on Soul Alchemy Potions. So whether it is that you're working on abundance, do you guys see that? Just fly behind me then. Or whether you're working on self-worth, whether you're working on manifesting your dream life or having confidence, whatever it is for you, these are important steps in the manifestation process. So myself, I've been a big, follower of manifestation work and researcher with a lot of that. But what I don't see is enough of breaking the thought loops. I don't see enough of the nervous system regulation. And I don't see enough of actually working at the root where a lot of this is coming from. Because we know that we create our reality first in the quantum. We psychically, energetically, plasmatically quantum entangle with that. So my hypnotic subliminals are one of the best things that you can utilize in your little toolkit to actually consciously shift and create and rewrite your story, your program. So they work with the hypnotic. Do you guys see that again? That was a bright one. That was a bright little fairy orb that just went past. So the way that they work is with hypnosis, the binaural beats, which actually will drop your brain into theta. And then they also work with the affirmations that are at a lower level that reprogram your script, reprogram your consciousness. So we're not fighting consciously to try and manifest or be in this state of want and lack and desire. We're actually in this emotional state of broadcasting a new frequency, broadcasting out into the quantum and quantumly entangling and also energetically expanding and stretching our aura so that we open up like a fishing net to bring all these beautiful things to us. And yeah, they do. They want the attention, I think, the little orbs. So thank you, fairies, for joining us and orbs. So anyway, I just wanted to help a couple of you that I know have been struggling in client sessions and really being at this kind of brick wall stage. If this is something that you want my personal one-on-one help with, please reach out for a holistic wellness session. We can energetically clear things out of your aura. I can work with kinesiology. I can work with pranic healing. I can work with giving you a little program on consciousness shifting with reality. It takes anywhere from a minimum of 28 to 128 days to reprogram your subconscious mind. So if these are older, deeper, more ingrained roots, we can actually get to the core and the old belief systems that are blocking behind that little firewall and start to insert new programs in. So let's have a look into cards for the moment. And I was partway cooking dinner when I decided to just come online with this, and I just saw the shaman card. So dinner is all cooked and ready. It will be cooled down to eat by the time we finish this reading. But I just wanted to be here for you guys, and I missed being online with my beautiful soul tribe as well. So let's have a look and see what Spirit is wanting us to talk about tonight. What's coming up for our gorgeous soul tribe collective at the moment. Okay, so I have 5 cards on my desk. We're going to feel into these and we're going to see what Spirit says, and then we'll have a look and see what's coming out. So the thing that I'm seeing is interesting in that I'm being shown rain, and it is currently raining here too, but I'm being shown rain from the perspective of one little drop, and I'm seeing it as quite a bulbous raindrop, and I'm seeing myself feel like really, really small compared to that raindrop. And they're showing me that these raindrops, if we think about it in terms of like new emotion, because water represents emotion, and I'm seeing this raindrop be very clear. Thank you for just joining us now. For those that are just switching on, I appreciate you guys being here and dropping some emojis so I can see who's here. Welcome. So what I'm being shown is one little drop by itself might not seem like much, but when we look at all of like the gatherings of all of the raindrops, or to use like a beach analogy, all of like the grains of sand being like new thoughts or new programs, this is an accumulative process, is what we're seeing in terms of reality shifting. So it's not going to happen necessarily overnight. Sometimes it miraculously will. It really just depends. But let's flip these cards over and see what we have. And I love what we've got. Okay. The first thing that we have is a 3 of Wands. This is a card of virtue. What's interesting about this is you guys have seen me multiple times talk about the 2 of Wands. And when we talk about it from the Vedic perspective, Krishna actually created this world to live in as a world of duality. to experience positive and negative. And he created it as a world for gods and goddesses to come, to forget who they are, to forget that they have a higher self, that they're their own creators, their own manifestors. So we've got this Three of Wands, which is this wand of God or this wand of higher self. We've got Sun and Aries down here. This is sometimes about taking action, as well as this beautiful illumination sun energy too. So yeah, what we have with this is I would say it's like the overriding of this duality world that we're living in. So we're coming into an opening and understanding of our thoughts actually do create reality. So what our little antenna or our little crown chakra, our little heart chakras are spiritually broadcasting into the field are actually being heard. So Ace of Swords, this is that hand of God that gives the sword, it gives the information, it gives the affirmation, it gives the download. So with this Ace of Swords coming in, this is definitely opening up, getting into frequency, getting into resonance, this resonance being outside of the 3D. So definitely working with nervous system side of things. And we see here this clearing of the clouds. So this beautiful crown in heightened states of awareness. So you can also work on chakra activation. This is also really good when we're working with theta brainwave states, like in my hypnosis or hypnotic subliminal meditations. And this is actually about us asking for help. So we've got the card of the lovers. We see the lovers here working with God. And in some decks, this is Archangel Michael. So it really depends on who you wish to ask, but this is about asking for help. This is about connection. It's about contracts. It's about partnership. And we see the dualities. And it's very much in alignment with what we're talking about with the Three of Wands as well. So what we have to do is we have to recognize when we're in old patterns. And the Seven of Cups, you guys see that little plasma orb fly past? So Seven of Cups is Venus and Scorpio. So we have to realize when our heart, when our minds, when our emotions are in this repeating stage, broadcasting this icky, yucky emotional feeling, all of this sludge that we're dredging up from past. And this is also sometimes a little cue for a bit of a detox, whether it's energetic, whether it's like a physical detox. It really just is an emotional well-being check-in. But Seven of Cups is usually hidden behind a veil. It's things that we can't see, but we sense that they're there. So the next card that we have is the Six of Swords. In this deck, it's called the card of science, but we know that this is the card of things moving, things changing and shifting, heading in a new direction. We're getting in that boat. We usually see the woman and the child and the man standing up, rowing at the back, taking us in a new direction. So Six of Swords is also Mercury energy and Aquarius. So we're maybe going to get new inspiration, new ideas open up around what it is that, you know, we're worthy of, maybe new ideas coming in, different people, different networks coming in to expand our thoughts, our feelings. And I heard something really good in alignment with this the other day in terms of with change. Hello, beautiful Aquarius. Big year for Aquarius this year too. Very lucky in terms of manifestation and money and amazing things and spotlight energy coming in for you. So what I heard the other day was in terms of, oh, let me just catch my train of thought. Sorry, guys, it's just wandered a little. We'll come back to it. Let me just see if there's any little clarifying cards around this. And I just saw the Six of Swords in my other deck when I was doing a little quick shuffle. Oh, that's right. Okay, this has prompted me. We've got the Empress come up. We've got the Ace of Coins. We've got the Justice card. And we have the Five of Swords and Four of Wands. So what I was going to say was sometimes if we're feeling stuck or we're feeling like the same patterns, the same story, we're feeling like Groundhog Day, sometimes it's actually just about getting yourself out there, taking yourself to a different location, going to a different area, a different store, putting yourself in a different physical environment so that you open up for the universe to bring you something new. So this means if you're single, it doesn't mean sitting at home and waiting for that perfect partner to turn up. It means whether it's getting on the dating apps, going to speed dating, going out dancing, whatever it is for you to get you out of the pattern. So today, this is a collective reading, but do hit that notification and please subscribe, because we do also do Q&As as well. So you need to make sure to be doing that so that you can jump on and give me your question on one of those shows. So what we're seeing at the moment, advice-wise from Spirit, we have the Empress, the Master Manifester. She also becomes pregnant with thought and emotion. And she also is the Queen of Queens, who sits kind of in a crystal realm. So sometimes it's also important to remove ourselves from the situation in order for things to get quiet long enough to be able to understand and to receive an Ace of Coins, which is coming from higher self or coming from that hand of God, that gift coming in with divine inspiration. So with that, we have adjustment, which is called justice in this particular deck. So this is Libra energy and it's adjustment. So we need to be like totally aware of our frequency, our bandwidth when we're dipping, and it's all practice. We don't have to be perfect at it, just to catch yourself and be like, I noticed like when I was hanging around those people, my vibration dipped, or I noticed that I went into a thought pattern or a thought loop or doubt or insecurity, whatever it is. Five of Swords is about, this is mental energy. It's called the card of defeat. But for me, this is like realizing when they come up, and it's like we need to complete that thought loop. We need to realign. And that's what this card is. Four of Wands is a card of completion. It's Venus and Aries energy. So give yourself a little bit of Venusian love. And Aries, move the physical body, get into like a different state. So this is also known as the card of completion, spiritual marriage, or alignment energy. So we need to bring ourselves into this constant vibrational check. So check your set point. Okay, how am I doing? Where would I rather be? What would I rather be doing? So have a look at it mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, perhaps even journal and write some of this down. So let me get a little bit of clarification from the Star Tarot if there's anything else that Spirit wants me to mention. Right now, we've got the Moon card, Ace of Cups, the card of love, the card of new relationships, new beginning, followed by Ace of Wands and the Power card. So I'm hearing Spirit literally say the words, the ball is in your court. So what are we going to do with it? If the basketballs come up our end, it's in our end of the court. Do we want to shoot the shot? Or do we want to maybe pass it to someone else? And what's our pattern? Do we always pass the ball to someone else? Or do we take the shot ourselves? So really look at your pattern. But yeah, this beautiful Moon card, this is beautiful, enlightened energy around these patterns. So Scorpio energy in this subconscious, dreamy underworld. And we see here the magic of the ravens as well. This little bardo energy, these little pillars of wisdom. And in the traditional decks, it's in the Thoth deck, you actually see the moon get taken and be birthed into the sun. So tonight, this reading is about catching yourself, catching the awareness of the subconscious mind, realizing it and transforming it through the wisdom and bringing it into full illumination so we can really see it. So this is where journaling is quite good. This is going to bring in brand new things into your field, into your space. Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Four of Pentacles. This is power energy. The ball is in your court. What are you going to do? And I just saw 23. I think 23 was a basketball number of mine on an old basketball jersey or singlet. So this is earth, air, fire, and water. This is sometimes in my other deck, a castle with a moat of water, emotion around it. So think about like say your temple is your castle and you're broadcasting into the water, the emotion around it. What signal are you going to be broadcasting? I know what I want to broadcast in order to bring these in. I want to match it. I want to open my heart. I want to open my crown and bring that frequency to the highest state possible. So if this is resonating and you want to go deeper, these are things that we can work on in a one-on-one session. I don't have time today to do a personal one-on-one reading for everyone, but please hit the notification button because we will be doing live Q&As a little bit more often. And as Jennifer says, yeah, swan, soul, and we've got dragonfly. So two creatures that are more from the higher spiritual realms that are showing up in this beautiful portal. So I love you all very much. Everything you need is in the description box below. You may want to start with a hypnotic subliminal meditation that I have specifically designed to take you from this point of frustration and shift you into actually manifesting and attracting, working at it from a quantum level. So remember, it's not like a one and done. It really is the journey of a minimum of 28 days, all the way up to 128 if you're not seeing a shift. That's how long it takes to flip the switch in the conscious manifesting reality. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful week as well.